back with you, but I want to get back to these markets because we've started to fall off some of those levels that we saw earlier. Still a triple-point gain, but nonetheless down 288. And as we have learned this week, anything can happen. This is a market that is moving minute by minute as investors trying to decide just what direction they want to be in. Jim Grant here with me. Why such wild fluctuations?
Well, people change their minds. That's what moves markets. The great Richard Russell is wont to say that in markets anything can happen. I think the way to think about the present tumult is to consider that we have been in a kind of a sedation low these many years owing to zero interest rates, the expectation of continued zero interest rates, and all of this Federal Reserve activity buying bonds.
I want to show viewers, if we have a chart of gold, to take a look at that, because you know, in this market, people are looking for some safe havens. They're looking for some opportunities. I know that you've done a lot of research and writing on gold. You can see not even gold really. Do we have a today chart? This is today. Okay. No, this is year to date, but they're gonna bring a chart forward for you. And you can see not even today is gold actually
Now it's been a huge disappointment to its fans, including me. It was in 2008 as well when markets tanked. People sold something to raise cash, and that something included gold. Gold is meant to be a port in a storm. It is now kind of a storm in a port. But you know, the question to me is, how does this end? I mean, what is the denouement, the end game of this business about this great experimentation with money printing? And it seems to me that that what happens next and next and next is more and more heavy-handed intervention by the central banks. Right. And what is, I think,
so maybe we don't need that, though, Jim.
No, we do not. But I think you asked about gold. What crystallizes to me bullish sentiment in gold, if indeed it ever is crystallized, is the world's rejection of central bank intervention. Rejecting it. You know,
exactly. If we were to go back to a gold standard, then we wouldn't.
Well, something that imparts something permanent in the value of money. Is money is it a magic wand, or is it a measuring stick, as George Gilder asks? We have been treating it as if it were a magic wand. Yeah. And by the way, the Chinese, whom Donald Trump likes to disparage, are doing nothing that we have not done with respect to intervention, right? People say, what has gone wrong in China? Well, they have copied us, but more heavy-handedly.
You know, I was just actually up in New Hampshire on vacation, and I was at Mount Washington, which was the site of Bretton Woods, where all the leaders gathered from around the world. See, we got a nice picture there for you. It's a beautiful place. They gathered from around the world, and they met, and they invoked the gold standard because the global economy was in such shambles. They had to do something.
Well, it was a form of gold standard. What had happened was World War I came along, and the pre-World War I monetary system was shattered. What followed the next 15 years or so was a kind of an improvisational business. This country devalues, this one doesn't devalue. It's rather like what we have today. So the question is, do we want stability, or do we want
stability. We want stability, right?
Yeah, we do. We want money that's worth something, no?
Right. Right. And we want money that's worth something.
What we have today is the PhD standard.
We have a race to the bottom right now. It's currency wars. Jim Rickards has written a book on it. Currency wars seems to be what is the choice of the day.
The backstory of all is perhaps the remote cause of what we're seeing is the lack of real growth in the world. The reason we see Donald Trump, the reason we see Bernie Sanders, the reason we see other angry politicians the world over, it seems to me, is in good part the lack of growth and opportunity. When people have the expectation that things are going to get better, they're not going to go out and look for people to blame.
You know, Charlie Gasparino wrote a piece on that saying, as long as we have this volatility, Donald Trump will be doing well. We're talking about Donald Trump right after this. Thank you, Jim. Good to have you here.